Jaguar has definitely come a long way since its first SUV back in 2015 called the F-Pace. Now, the name hasn't changed at all over the years, but it has definitely become more sporty and a lot more refined. This car right next to me is the 2024 Jaguar F-Pace R Dynamic S. I'm James, this is Test Drive, and today we're going to take an in-depth tour and look at the 2024 Jaguar F-Pace. Let's get started. So first off, let's take a look under the hood. Powering this Jaguar F-Pace is a 2-liter turbocharged engine that's going to give us 246 horsepower, 269 pound-feet of torque, and it does also have an all-wheel drive system with an 8-speed automatic. It is not a CVT or anything like that, so I'm already a fan of that. Now, this is the lowest engine and performance that the Jaguar F-Pace comes with for the 2024 model year. So let's get into it. Let's take a look whether or not all that is enough. So, as usual, we're starting first up front with the Jaguar F-Pace, and already you can tell, very refined, very luxurious, and very sporty. It hits all those three things which we like. You can see we have really nice daytime running LEDs, as well as a nice little turn signal. The turn signal has the finest of detail. It has a little Jaguar right in it, and I love to see that stuff. That's cool. There is some fake vents, also some active aero right here next to me. This vent right here is actually going to pass wind right through, which is very nice. We have that nice iconic Jaguar logo, which is just a screaming cat, very aggressive. We have the R Dynamics badge because this is kind of like the sport package, makes everything look a lot less, I'll say, on the cheap side. It looks very luxurious, very sporty. We also have some parking sensors. We don't have a front-facing camera for this trim, but I think it is available on the higher trims, but it's okay because it does come with the parking sensors, so I love that. Overall, great looking front end, very aggressive, very sporty, exactly what you're looking for if you're looking for a Jaguar. All right, so next up is the side profile for the Jaguar F-Pace. Again, it's very simple, but here is where you could see the Land Rover, Range Rover kind of body style. I really do feel like this looks like a Range Rover Sport from the side. It has the same stance as it, and that's not a complaint because those are nice cars too. So you can kind of tell almost that they're the same company. Also, we do have one-touch lock and unlocking doors out here. So it is a sensor, so your distance may vary on that. I'm not sure if it's gonna hold up in the winter or be usable. You'll have to tell me that in the comments. We have a Jaguar logo right up here, as well as a nice turn signal for the side mirrors, which is very nice. Then we have the Jaguar logo right in the center of the rim here, and we have a little flag for the little cap that you use to fill up your tires. It is the UK, United Kingdom flag, which is awesome. I also think that the paint color for the Jaguar F-Pace, this choice right here, is the one to go with because it looks the most sporty and the most Jaguar-esque. So now we are around back of the Jaguar F-Pace, where you can see we have the nice Jaguar logo with the actual Jaguar right there. It's not the screaming guy anymore. And then we have these nice tail lights wrapper on the body, very nice. I feel like we've seen them for a couple of years now on Jaguar, but it's not broken, so why fix it? I like it. A little bit of like a smaller rear windshield here. The visibility is okay, but I feel like on some other SUVs you maybe will get a little bit more. The one thing that sucks though, I know this isn't the top trim, this isn't the SVR, this isn't, you know, the biggest trim of the Jaguar, but they do hide their exhaust. I feel like it would be way more sporty if they just made like a little diffuser down here, and I don't think it would actually cost that much more. Now we also have a rear wiper, very useful for the winter, and a nice rear facing camera as well. So I'll go ahead now and pop the trunk. Just like that. It's automatic, so that's very excellent. Plenty of room here, a little privacy screen here, a little bit of storage under the floor, but if you fold down those seats, you have a ton of space. There's also a ton of space vertically, so that's really good news. It's exactly what you want, very luxurious, lots of trunk space. It passes that SUV test. So there you go, I showed you all around the exterior. Let's hop in the interior and see what's going on in there. So now I'm sitting in the back seat of the Jaguar F-Pace, and if you like red and you like black, this is the place for you because there's just a ton of it. I am, for one, a fan of it. I love it. I think it's great. I've got a ton of headroom here. The seats, they don't have that much bolstering. They are very firm, kind of on the flat side, but For a long road trip, I think I could do it, no problem. We also have these 2 cup holders that fold down right here, which are nice. We have this moonroof here, which is very nice too. This nice Alcantara suede kind of headlining material. Again, it's that luxury, adds to the price, but it's very nice to have. We also have some silver mixed into here because we have a Meridian sound system. A nice big ledge for you to rest your arm if you want to do it like this. It's really cool. And I have a ton of space for my legs. My feet can go underneath this right here, which is very nice. So everything is very clean, very nice. I'm very comfortable. I also have these multi-purpose function buttons here that Jaguar and Land Rover have. You know, we've seen them in the past. You pull out, you can adjust the fan speed. They also have them in the front. I've never used them before. First time using them, I find them very effective, but we have our own climate control and these seats are both heated here. So that's very important for the winter because it's freezing. I have them on and I'm currently able to sit here in like -20 weather with a short sleeve shirt on because I'm being warmed. So that's very nice. We also have Jaguar label on the vents, which is nice. And overall, it's just a great place to spend time in the rear if you like to sit in the rear. But personally, I'm usually in the driver's seat. So let's hop up there. So now we're in my favorite place to spend time and arguably the best looking place in the Jaguar F-Pace. I am in the front seat right behind the wheel. I love the way they've designed this interior. You can see that I'm sitting in some sport seats because that is option this time, and they're all red and it's all black and it's fantastic. Now let's start off with talking about the steering wheel. This is one of my favorite design steering wheels all year. I love it. We've got real metallic paddle shifters. We've got a really nice wrapped leather steering wheel that feels great in the hands. I love the Jaguar logo right center there. Very simple, but yet very nice, very refined and very sporty. And that's what I'm looking for when I think of a Jaguar. I've also got a fully digital gauge cluster that I can customize with different things like navigation and stuff like that. So that's great. I also have 3 settings for my memory seatings for the driver, and also the passenger has some as well. Then we have this very nice and large infotainment display that is the Jaguar Land Rover system of the recent years that I like to use. It's got a whole bunch of different settings. I can see my air quality. I can see the air quality outside and inside because it's purifying the air for me. I can see that when I'm sitting in idle, what is using the most energy. It'll even tell me how to drive it so that I don't use too much gas. All of that is fantastic. It's very, very nice design, quick and easy to use. It's got things like built-in navigation. It's got, the parking sensors that you could pull up whenever you want. We've also got in here all surface information where you can see where your power is coming from, whether the rear or the front. It's got a valet mode, low traction launch. You name it, I could do a whole video on it. There is so many things. We also have some ambient lighting that we can control from here, which looks fantastic. The car really does come alive at night. I love cars with ambient lighting, so that's awesome. Then if we move a little bit lower, we have they did remove the buttons, but they kind of did it in a good way. So there's these haptic buttons that I control some of the main points of the HVAC with. And then we have these knobs where if I pull it out, I can adjust the fan speed. If I push it in, I can adjust my heated seats and ventilated seats because I have both right here. And then if I just rotate the dial, then I can control the actual temperature. Where the direction is coming from, I can either click it on my thing, it'll bring up my climate control, and then I could do it if I want it on my feet, my face, anywhere else, I can control it right from there as well, which is very nice. Now, if we move on down, we have this nice shifter here that's fabric-y. There's some nice fabric on it. Feels really nice in the hand. It's small, so if you're driving along and you hit a bump, it's very easy to move. It's very, very easy to move around. Start stop button is also right here, some volume controls. And then we have this mode button that kind of rises out of the dash. And it brings up the selection, and then I can change it and then push it back in to select. Even if you don't push it back in, it'll still select itself anyways. You're not just gonna be in no mode. But I think that's cool. It's more on the gimmick side, but I think it's cool. I like having a little button that rises out of my dash when I want to change my drive mode. That's kind of awesome. So there you go. There is the interior tour of the Jaguar F-Pace. I think for once, I like the interior a little bit more than I like the exterior. It's just a great place to spend time. Let's spend time with it together. Let's take it on a road. All right, so now I'm inside the 2024 Jaguar F-Pace. We're on the road where it belongs, and it's been a very luxurious week. It's also been a week where I've been looked at a little bit differently because I think the Jaguar name comes with a little bit more of a age gap, I want to say. I feel like when people look at who's driving this Jaguar, they don't expect to see somebody that looks a little bit younger. I feel like you see more of the older people driving the Jaguar SUVs, but look, maybe if you've got the budget and you're young and you just want to be comfortable, you don't really care about going too fast because this isn't necessarily the most sporty model in the lineup for Jaguar F-Paces, then you're going to be fine because it has like so much luxury. The ride control is really good. The adaptive suspension is really good. You know, if you want to put it into some sport mode, you can. You know, you do that little dial that rises up out of the dash. You do it, you press it in, and then, you know, you can kind of give it a little bit of gas here. You know, it's not too bad. Like, you know, my head's not, you know, popping back in my seat or anything like that. I'm not, you know, it's not an electric vehicle or anything, but the engine noise, I don't know if you can hear it. It is a little bit quiet. It's definitely not like a roaring V8 or anything like that. You can kind of hear it. It's not that loud, but it's sort of like here, I'll see if I can get you to hear it here. You know, it's like right around there. It's okay. Once you really get going, like there's a little bit of like a turbo whine. I can almost hear it, but I don't think the camera is going to pick it up. But yeah, so overtaking slower traffic, not a problem. You know, speeding up to get onto the highway speeds, definitely not a problem. It's definitely not slow, but it's also not like extremely fast. It's going to blow your mind. It's a gradual speed to 100. It's nothing to write home about though, and I don't think that's what people that are looking at this trim of the Jaguar are necessarily looking for. They're not looking for something crazy that's gonna, you know, blow their head up. If you want that, you go with the SVR because it's a lot louder, or you go with like the mid-tier trim that's a lot higher, that is, you know, maybe a little bit more equipped too. But this one is, you know, kind of your entry-level thing. You get in, you just want to drive, you just want all the luxurious things that Jaguar comes with. You want the sporty look and you want the sporty design, and when it comes to those two things, it hits it right on the head. It's absolutely excellent. There's quite a bit of body roll though. Like if I'm in true sport mode, like there is a lot of body roll. Like even in that, like it really stiffens up my steering, but there's a lot of body roll. So you just want to keep that in mind. If you're taking it on the track, maybe you're not going to set the lap times alight, but you know, it's also not terrible. Speaking of lap times, this thing does have like a lap time recorder and also a G meter. So hey, if you're into that thing and you want to see how much G's you're pulling when you're in the Jaguar, I don't think it'll be that many, but you can still do it. So while I'm in sport mode as well, the suspension is a little bit on the rough side, but I can go ahead right now. I can switch over into comfort, and the suspension lightens up. Everything becomes a little bit less aggressive, and you know, the car is very nice to drive. I do have paddle shifters as well, which I can throw it in, and I can downshift, upshift, whatever I need to do. I can do all that stuff too. It's pretty quick actually, and it recommends what gear you should be in for what speed you're going. That's also very nice. You can do that in comfort mode too. You just got to kind of click it twice and you're going to get into the nice mode there, but you know, I really don't mind it that much. So the fuel economy for this week, I've been doing mostly city driving and a slight bit of highway, but all those things combined kind of add up to about like a 10.8, high 10s, low 11s liters per 100 kilometers, which isn't bad, which really isn't bad, because honestly last week I had the Acura Integra Type S and I was around that level too, and I was pushing it almost as much as I pushed this one. So, you know, it's not terrible for an SUV. It does take premium fuel, or premium fuel is recommended. I don't think it's mandatory. I don't see anywhere where it says that it's mandatory. So you might pay a little bit more if you really want to fuel this thing up, but if you're already driving a Jaguar, then who cares? Now visibility is quite good. You just kind of have to get over this kind of screen door effect, because I have an electric heated windshield, so you see like these little squiggly lines in the windshield if you look really close at it. You don't really notice it when you're driving it for a long time, but sometimes when you first get in, you'll notice it. You really don't notice it at night, which was important and also nice to know. But yeah, you do notice it a little bit, but it's a really fantastic feature because you turn it on, and if there's ice and stuff, it melts that stuff in seconds, because it's the same kind of like those lines that you have on your rear windshield. It's the same thing. It heats it up really quick and gets rid of the snow, and that's really key in Quebec. I really like that. Also, I think you're going to be fine in the winter as well. 4-wheel drive on this thing, fantastic. Had no problems, no slipping at all when I'm driving in the wet or a little bit of ice this week. Perfect. And I'm just a fan of how nice this steering wheel feels, how nice it is to look down and see the Jaguar logo. You know, it's not something that I saw myself doing so soon, or at all, really. You know, I'm lucky with the cars that I get. I did not expect to be driving a Jaguar, and so that, you know, it kind of makes you, it does a good job of letting you know that you are in fact in a Jaguar. But the big steering wheel, the big logo, you know, it says Jaguar there on my dash too. I like that. I like to be constantly reminded that I'm driving a very nice luxury SUV, and the interior is fantastic. I just can't get enough of it. It's honestly, I like it more than I like the exterior, although that is also very refined, and it's just, you know, very expensive. And I don't know about reliability, but from what I've heard, it's maybe on the not so great side. I think, you know, Jaguars maybe run into problems a little bit more than some of the other luxury brands that it competes against. And I think price point, it's probably right on there. It is $80,000, and it is very, very expensive. And personally, I wouldn't pay that much money, but I'm lucky I get to drive it. But in the comments, if you own a Jaguar or have ever owned a Jaguar for any length of time, let me know about reliability. I can't speak to it. So far for a week, I've had no problems. I've had no inklings. I've had no gremlins. I've had no, like, nothing that tells me that this car would break in a year of ownership. I can't tell in 1 week, but you can in the comments if you tell us, and that would be really helpful for other people that are looking for a vehicle in this market to tell them about reliability. But I can only tell you about really the basic stuff. So yeah, I think that is going to do it for this week for the Jaguar F-Pace. I do think that it is a great car to own if you are maybe of a certain age. I think that that's kind of the vibe I get from talking to a lot of people, from people that have asked me, oh, is that the 24? Although not that much has changed for 24. You know, people expect an older crowd to be driving this version of a Jaguar. Maybe even the F-Type, I don't know. But that's the vibe I get. I feel like I'm maybe too young for this car right now, but the fact that I get to drive it is incredible. It is very on the expensive side. There is maybe other brands out there that you know, have more performance and stuff like that for, you know, the same amount of money, which could be beneficial. But look, it's really one of those things where if you're like the Jaguar Land Rover brand, but you want like a really sporty one, you don't just want a regular Land Rover or Range Rover, you want a really sporty looking thing, the Jaguar is where it's at. They nailed it on the head with doing refinement, luxury, and sport all at the same time. And honestly, you can't hate it for that. I'm a fan. I like Jaguar. Maybe I wouldn't own one because they're very expensive, and I can't really see myself owning one long term, but driving one for a week has been excellent. And I think if you do decide to own one and you have the budget to maintain it and do all the things you need to do with it, then you'll probably be happy. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. I'll see you in the next week. See you in the next car. Make sure you like and subscribe, and take care.